I would observe that perhaps in some cases, the impediment to a veteran getting a job is an illegal alien illegally competing against that veteran for a job. And that probably happens with far greater frequency than E-Verify functioning as the barrier between a veteran and employment. I believe I still represent the highest concentration of veterans and active duty service members in the entire United States Congress, and certainly while veteran employment is an issue at the top of their list, when I talk to many of them, they reflect on the fact that they serve a nation that is not serious about protecting its border, that is not serious about internally enforcing its immigration laws, and the patriotism that I see reflected in veterans would certainly be, would be in line with this in a moment, because I have to address for a moment the distinguished ranking member's characterization that while something might work in Arizona, it might not work in an agricultural community. And so perhaps the gentleman from Manhattan would note that if you eat any leafy green vegetable in the wintertime in the lower 48 of the United States, there is like a greater than 50% chance that it was grown in Yuma, Arizona, maybe closer to 80%. So while they're munching down on their butter lettuce and kale and other terrific leafy green vegetables in Greenwich Village, they can thank some Arizona farmers who are effectively using E-Verify today to ensure that that salad is delicious and well enjoyed. And I would yield to my colleague from Arizona to further opine as to the agricultural prowess of his beloved state.
Yeah, I would say I thought it was remarkable. It indicates that you weren't listening to any of the comments that I've made on E-Verify earlier. 90% of all leafy green that comes to you in the winter comes from Yuma, Arizona. And many on this committee have come with me, and we've wandered the fields and talked to the growers, the major growers who work not just in Yuma County, but in Imperial County to the west of us in California, as they produce tremendous agricultural products. Some of the biggest dairy farms are in Pinal County, Arizona. One of the top 15 egg producers in this country is in Maricopa County, Arizona. Somehow they all manage to use the E-Verify system, and it works for them, which gets to the point. In Maricopa County and Pima County, you have two of the larger veteran populations in the country. I meet with veterans when I'm in the district almost weekly. I never have anyone say, gee, Andy, you know, since for the last 16 years we've had the E-Verify system in Arizona and I'm having trouble. That's an impediment to me as a veteran to get a job. Never has that been raised. Never has that been raised. But they have raised, I'm competing with low-wage illegal aliens who have come in. They have mentioned that. Well, I yield back to my friend from Florida, and I thank you.
I yield to Mr. Buck.
I would just appreciate if my friend from Arizona would acknowledge that the water that's used for those Arizona leafy products comes from Colorado. All this Arizona stuff is making me a little ill. Let's acknowledge where the water comes from.
I'll reclaim my time and yield to Mr. McClintock.
I just wanted to observe how ironic it is to use veterans who have sacrificed so much through the centuries to defend our borders abroad as an excuse to undermine those borders here at home. And I yield back to the gentleman.
Yield to Ms. Johnson.
Thank you. I just want to note, I'm sure Mr. Biggs would agree that if Democrats had joined us at the field hearing down in Yuma, they might have seen some of those leafy green vegetables. Isn't that true?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that's true.
And I would conclude with this point. The growers that we met with had concerns about the border, they had concerns about internal enforcement, they had concerns about how their state and local entities could better interface with federal assets to have a full catchment apparatus for the invasion that is happening on our southern border. But not once did we hear a single concern about the efficacy of E-Verify. And undeniably, there will be, kinks in this system that we will improve upon going forward. But it is certainly not a basis under these terms to not have full E-Verify, one that will make our workforce stronger, and I would suggest would make the job market even more attractive and even more competitive for our beloved veterans. I yield back.